From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by
Vitamin Energy.
The vitamins.
The energy.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. Coming up on today's show, who's going to survive the longest at Florida State? How do you budget in this new rev share era? And we're generating discussion sparked by Cummins. Wake Up Warchant presented by Vitamin Energy. VitaminEnergy.com. Shake it and take it, everybody. It's a small little bottle you can take with you anywhere. Not even 2 full ounces. Portable, powerful, 260 milligrams, all natural caffeine, no sugar crash. Non-GMO, made in America, and again, packed with vitamins and nutrients that help your mood, help your focus, help you in the gym, help you on the racquetball court. It doesn't necessarily be in the, when I say the gym court, it doesn't necessarily mean under the barbell or, in the power rack. You can be playing, racquetball at the gym or tennis outside your gym's facilities. Yeah, so active lifestyle, everybody. Use it. VitaminEnergy.com. Shake it and take it. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Merge in here with Rivals soon enough, everybody, so you'll get the full college sports fan experience with unparalleled high school recruiting coverage and college NIL information with the On3 network. Come home. Join us. Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Us being myself and Corey Clark and a whole bunch of other awesome guys over at Warchant.com, but Corey's the one that's on the mic right now. What's up, Corey Clark?
What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
I'm well, man. How about yourself? Everything good, you said?
No, it's not. But you look, we all, some of us have teenagers that do things to their cars. It's not living the life that I was hoping to live at this, late stage of my life. Having to deal with a 17-year-old slamming into a brick column at a gas station. But hey, we all choose our lots in life. We all take our own paths, and so now dealing with this.
He's okay. I imagine this hurts the wallet more than it hurts the physical.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. No, he's fine. He's
okay.
fine. So that's wonderful.
Who taught him how to drive?
I mean, it wasn't him driving, which is even the bigger issue.
Okay.
But we won't get into it.
Okay.
So anywho,
All
so
right.
Other than that, perfect. Just got the first quote from a mechanic on how much he thought it would cost, and that was is if you can tell, I'm still a little flustered. I'm still a little flustered by it, but we'll see.
Who hasn't been flustered are all these young gentlemen that we've been speaking to, all the newcomers. Full disclosure, we're recording this before we speak to the last batch on Thursday with Gavin Sawchuk and the crew. So I'm really curious to hear what he's going to have to say. But we heard from Ousmane, I think that's a proper way to pronounce his name, Kromah. We've also heard from, Gavin Blackwell. That, to me, was the most impressive kind of interview. Very introspective young man from North Carolina, just talking about, just wanting to come to a place, starting over, being welcomed, positive mindset, and just wanting to lift everybody up around him. That was a really cool thing to hear. So what's been kind of your Jeremiah Wilson? We didn't talk about him enough the other day. Anybody stand out to you, Corey? I know you wrote the story about Kromah on the site the other day.
Yeah, I liked the way he carried himself and handled himself. He was not egotistical. He was not braggadocious, but you can tell he thinks he's good and he's going to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, right. I think that I got that impression immediately, just the way he handles himself and the things he said about the rest of the running back room, how much they help him, how much he loves the room, how much, he's like, it's not like film used to be where you kind of want to fall asleep watching it. Coach Johnson makes it fun. Well, he called him Coach Yak. Coach Yak makes it fun. And just like the details, and that he's on the fast track, but they're not throwing too much on his plate, or he doesn't feel like there's too much on his plate. It all seems as if he's very confident he's going to be a pretty big part of the offense in 2025, and he handles himself like an adult. He just did. I can't imagine he's had too many media sessions like that in his life, if ever, and that could be pretty daunting as an 18-year-old kid to come into a room with 10 or 12 people asking you questions and microphones and cameras and standing at a podium, and he seemed to handle it really well. Most of these guys do, man. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it that they get this, and most of them really seem to handle it well.
He does recruit good guys, man. He really does. Hopefully they're going to be just as awesome with the football in their hands as they've been at the podium thus far. Let's get back to the rest of the Renegade Express mailbag questions. We're also going to do our generating discussion presented by Cummins, featured question. But let's go with, we started the week with Tommy Castellanos. Let's end the week with the first question in the mailbag regarding him. Our guy, Island Chief, wake up. Tommy has shown up to the party with enough swagger for everybody. His responses are a long way from the buttoned-up response from Jordan Travis of yes, sir, and I'm blessed. But I think he's given the team what it needs in a leader every bit as much as Travis provided his teams the leadership they needed. My question is this. When the game pressure is high, will Tommy's approach be to try to do it himself or give the ball to others? Is he a shooting guard or a point guard, Corey?
That's an interesting way to phrase that. He's had to be a shooting guard at Boston College, or at least he felt he did. That first year he did. Last year I think they tried to turn him into a point guard. And maybe it just didn't work out well. He also didn't have a lot of good shooters around him at Boston College. No offense, I know they beat Florida State, but he didn't have a ton of talent. He's not wrong about that. He didn't have, maybe a Deuce Robinson or a Squirrel White or a Keon Coleman or somebody like that to throw to. But that is an interesting question. I think the whole point of him being here is to be a point guard. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a really good way to phrase it, because I thought Jordan Travis, his first 2 years, thought of himself as like, I got to get all the points. It's up to me. I got to go score the points. I got to go win the game. His last year, he realized or last 2 years really, he realized he had good players around him, and he didn't try to do everything. And it'll be interesting to see, because Castellanos, I think he's got that mentality of like the the Allen Iverson, where it's like, I'll put up 40 shots a game. I'm good enough. Or Kobe, I'll go win the game by myself. But they don't need that here. He needs to go make some plays. He doesn't have to go make every play. So I think that's, if there's some of that in him, the Iverson, Kobe, and you're trying to get him to become, who do I even see? Halliburton? Who's Trey Young? I don't want to say Trey Young, because he shoots all the time too. He's a ball hog. You don't want Castellanos to be a ball hog, but somebody that's Jokic. Okay. Yeah, that's, if he's trying to be a Jokic, then I think that's something they'll be working on as the season goes. Because it's got to be his instinct, right, Aslan? On 3rd and 6 against Alabama, and he sees the blitz coming, to try to get to the outside of it and then go run for a first down. It's what he's been doing his whole life, and it's kind of what he had to do in Chestnut Hill. But the good quarterbacks, when you blitz them, they make you pay with their arm a lot more than they do with their feet. And that's something he's going to have to trust his guys to get open and to go make plays.
Yeah, well said. That's what I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in that kind of moment, because is it going to be trusting Gus and like every play that you've run has led you up to this and there's going to be things open, or is part of Gus's system going to really be, hey, man, this is 3rd and 7. There are not a lot of great options in here. We need you to be Tommy. Like, we need you to be kind of Superman here, so make things happen. I am going to be curious to kind of see how those high leverage situations and games work out between just, hey, listen, they're going to run some plays, they're going to create some confusion with motion and matchups. Will that create somebody open and Tommy's going to have the patience for that to develop, or is Tommy going to be like, the easiest thing is for me to keep the ball in my hands and trust myself and make a play, and those are going to be the risks, the calculations that he's going to have to take. And when they work out, we're going to be like, this guy is awesome. And if they don't work out, we're going to be like, man, this is why we wish we had a more traditional quarterback that could operate within a system. But
it's also like you wonder on a 3rd and 3 when they run like a mesh concept or a QB read concept, how often is he going to hand the ball to the running back? Yeah. And how often is he going to want to pull it? Because, look, man, I hope he pulls it twice a quarter.
Yes.
You have to. You have to keep them honest doing that. But I also don't know how often it's really up to him. Or we've talked about this a lot. We did it with Jordan a lot too. But like, how much is it really up to the quarterback to actually read what's going on? And is it just always a straight handoff where he plays out the fake like it was a read? Yeah. We don't know that, but he does need to keep that a couple of times. And you wonder on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, is he going to be the kid that trust Sawchuk or Kromah or Roydell to go get that first down, or if he's going to go try to get it himself?
This is a good question. It's very aggressive, though, Corey, so buckle up. Jaronol 1518, rank these gentlemen in terms of when they will leave their current jobs, from soonest to latest.
Soonest to latest, got it.
So, Michael Alford, Link Jarrett, Luke Laux, Mike Norvell.
Soonest to latest.
Yeah.
I think Link Jarrett is latest.
Okay.
I think I lock him down as being here the longest out of those four.
I hope, man. I had bad thoughts in my head the other day. Just the baseball stadium's even falling into the chaos of all the construction going on over at football right now. And I wonder if Lynch is going to look around and be like, man, I'm always going to be a second-class citizen here. I want to go, but I don't. I think he knows what he's signed up for.
I mean, I think it's not just that he went to Florida State. He's from Tallahassee, and I think it means it really does mean something to him.
He wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy that does it for sure.
100%. Yeah. And I don't think the stadium falling apart is going to be enough to send him to Starkville.
Right.
Because who wants to live in Starkville? No offense to our Mississippi listeners, but come on. So I would put him last. Those other three, man.
It's grabbing out of a hat, man.
It's a crapshoot. Like, Alford has no ties to Tallahassee at all. None. So, I would – my instinct is to put him first. Like, if he got a good job, an equal job or a better job, I think he'd leave as soon as possible. Yeah. If Notre Dame came calling or Michigan or somebody like that, I think he would leave and we would understand him leaving. Norvell, for different reasons. He might not have a job in December. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it's probable, but it is possible that he will be out of a job in December. So I just don't think that's going to happen, though, Aslan. Yeah, I'm on record saying I think they'll be good enough to hold his job. Yeah. So I think I'm going to go Alford, Norvell, Laux, Link. Okay. But admitting that any of those first three, I think, are kind of almost interchangeable. Although Laux
is Alford going to is Alford going to outlast Mike?
Yeah.
Because I get your point. I don't know how many other jobs. There's probably, unfortunately, there's more, I think, AD jobs that are appealing than head football coaching jobs. But I don't know how much of those are going to come open. And also, but he built a lot of this stuff, Mike Alford. I mean, he's got the football facility across the finish line, the whole stadium renovation. He really does care about baseball. I think he wants to be here when Link wins it all. He wants to see them either improve Howser or maybe build a brand new Howser. But, he's also a guy that, to your point, doesn't have any ties to Florida State. And if a better job comes open that's in a better conference with better finances, I would not probably behoove him for leaving.
Yeah, so I think that I think with Alford, too, we don't the conference. We don't know the conference realignment, how long that's going to take. You would like Alford to stay here through that, but that's not a guarantee. And then going to Laux, he's not going to be fired in the next 2 years. But if he's good or pretty good, I think he could be here as long as he wanted. But I don't know how long that is. He might want 3 years of the college game and then go back to the NBA. It's hard to know. What his future plans really are. If he wants to be here for 30 years, if he's good enough to be here for even 5 years, we don't know. He's such an unknown commodity. But I think right now, even that, I know he's got more stability than Norvell because he's not coming off 2-10, and Norvell is. So again, any of those three interchangeable. Link here for the long haul. Link here until he retires.
Let's hope. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to go soonest to latest. I think it goes Mike N, Mike A, Luke Laux, and then Link Jarrett. Final answer.
Okay. Final answer. Perfect. All right.
Moving along, we're not going to have a lot of suspense of this one, Corey. We're going to go ahead and get to our generating discussion question sparked by Cummins. Check out. Wait, Corey. I'm going to have the cameras on now. Now you do the thing.
And then push the button to start it.
It's generating discussion. It's sparked by Cummins Lifestyle. Give them a follow on Instagram. It's all one word. It is hot out there, everybody.
Yeah.
Probably do want to be indoors, but if you're going to be outside, have portable power. If you own that RV, have a reliable generator on board, giving you all the energy you need to run all your appliances at a nice, quiet level. You can do that with the Cummins own and product line. Check it out. Give them a follow on their Instagram to see how you can make your outdoor activities and lifestyle just a little bit better, a little bit more comfortable when you use Cummins products. All right, Corey, this one, I probably set a terrible precedent here because look how many words are on the screen. I couldn't even fit into our nice, Cummins themed graphic that we usually use, but we're just going to go ahead and go with this one. It's our guy, T. Ferguson, 904. Hey, fellas. I was thinking about this recent surge in recruiting and decided to hop on a few different recruiting sites to see how FSU stacked up in quality of recruits versus quantity. From what I saw, even on the most generous site, on 3. Now, this was before, I think, Lawrence Timmons' son, and then the young man from Crestview, the offensive lineman, Jacoby
Green?
Okay, I was going to say Green.
Okay.
I think he posted this before they committed. So nonetheless, at this point, he was saying they were 13th in average recruiting rating and even lower on some other sites. Well, I'm glad they've picked up some steam the past few days. I'm holding on to the notion that this is not a serious high school recruiting staff. I'm not sure why that is. But out of Mike Norvell's 5 years, he has yet to secure a top 10 class, landing high 3s, low 4s, and the occasional 5-star who seemingly never stay or pan out. Doesn't match the formula used by serious national championship contenders, with the bedrock of your recruiting being excellent high school classes. Yes, we had 23, but I think Mike was still benefiting from being an early adopter of the portal. Once everybody started playing, rent came due, and then we had the 24 portal haul. Everything seems reactionary after last year. But we all have eyes. Dan Mullen got fired for nothing but top 10 classes instead of top 5, or rather fired for landing nothing but top 10 class instead of top 5. Do you all see it the same way that I and many other fans do? Why can't Mike hire elite recruiters? Is it a philosophy he won't change, or something to do with money, conference reputation, administration, etc., Corey?
Well, look, Mullen got fired because he didn't win enough. It wasn't because he was only landing the number 8 class in the country. If he would have landed the number 8 class in the country and consistently won the SEC or been in the SEC championship game, he'd still be there. Also, if he wasn't a complete weirdo. That didn't help him at all. Those two, combined made that the firing. But I don't know if they're happy they did that or not. But yeah, I wouldn't say that he was fired for his recruiting. He was fired for his teams not being great. And Norvell certainly had a not great team last year. Everyone, we all watched that. But yeah, this has been the criticism, and a fair criticism of Norvell in the last couple of years. Like he had COVID as an excuse, and then he had the fact that he was building himself out of a hole as an excuse. And they're right; they're good excuses.
They're explanations. Good explanations.
Yeah, COVID did happen, and they were 5-7, and then they win 19 games in a row, and he still can't get a top 10 recruiting class. I think it's a fair criticism. I think this class looks like it's better than anyone he's put together, at least as we talk in June. You're talking about the number 11 class in the country, right on the cusp of top 10. And, whether you're 8th or 12th or 14th, I get the point. You're not top 3. And you'd love to be top 3. I don't know if that's in the cards for our man Norvell. But, the fact that he's in with those teams, Alabama, Florida, he's swimming in those waters this year, I think is encouraging. But I understand that he does not deserve the benefit of the doubt when it comes to high school recruiting, because it's not just the classes, Aslan. I don't care about class rankings. I mean, I do, but I don't. How many of these high school recruits that he signed have been any good? Yeah. That's the real question. I don't care what their rank coming out of high school. If you find me a bunch of diamonds in the rough that end up being awesome, you can laugh at high school rankings. But that hasn't been the case. He has not brought in consistently good performers out of the high school ranks. That, to me, is the biggest problem, whether they're ranked 8th or 88th. Right now, it would seem like, from what people think, he's putting together a really good class, but if they don't pan out in 2 or 3 years, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, my negativity, if you want to call it that, just comes from, this beats the alternative being 11th right now in late June. But yeah, if they go 7-5 or 8-4, I wonder how much of this class they hold on to. But again, it's better to be where they're at right now than be 27th, because then, at that point, then you're really panicking. So
I wanted to add something. I'm sorry to cut you off, Aslan, real quick, but though, talking about he doesn't think this is a serious high school recruiting staff. They just went 2-10. They just went 2-10.
But think about,
and they have the number 11 class. Go look at those teams that are in the top 20. Did any of them even have a losing season, much less the worst season in school history? I feel like being number 11 right now in June, coming off that disaster, says they must be doing something right. Right? They must. Look at those teams. Those are playoff teams. It's Florida State 11th, Penn State 10th. They're ahead of Alabama. They're 2 spots behind Oregon. Those are playoff teams. Clemson's a playoff team. Miami could have been. LSU could have been. Ohio State, think they had a pretty good playoff run. Georgia, playoff team. Notre Dame, playoff team. USC, A&M never wins anything. And then USC, who hasn't won anything in a while, but already has 30 commitments. Good grief. But doesn't that's encouraging and impressive, right?
Yes, for sure. But I again, can they hold on to these guys? I think is really what it comes down to. And that's going to be the performance.
Well, then you're never really going to get excited about a recruiting class until December.
Yeah, you're right. But no, that's a good point. I mean, you kind of cut me off at the pass there on that because I was going to listen to your point. They were 2-10. They're somehow 11th right now, so they must have serious recruiters. By the way, on the screen, I've got it sorted by average recruiting ranking, so the numbers probably don't make sense there. But that's the thing for as good acumen as Gus Malzahn has. Gus has never been a great recruiter, but he's found diamond. He's never had like really high rated classes. But there's always been these pieces that have worked out, and he's had 1,000-yard running backs rather. Like Tony White he was at Syracuse, so you're not really ever recruiting great there. Although, listen, Jeremiah Wilson, I think, is a guy that he did recruit to Syracuse, and he ended up being a really good cornerback at Houston. Now he's with you here. So they're not stealing guys from Oregon or Ohio State that are, or Texas that are in the thick of these things. So maybe they don't have some of those guys. And I do wonder, Corey, with the way that he held on to his staff after 2023, which I'm not going to – it's hard to relitigate that and give him too much grief for not retaining a staff that, won 19 out of 20 games or whatever. But he does like this very cohesive, very, copacetic kind of staff. And I think maybe some guys like Saban or Kirby want a little – kind of irritation, little uncomfortability with some guys that might be a little too on tilt when it comes to either being the strength coach or being a recruiter. I don't think he's got any of those kind of guys, but does it matter? Because to your point, they went 2-10 and they're 11th in the class right now.
And doesn't that portend to, let's say they go 9-3, and I know that's a big leap, but 8-4, 9-3, if they can do this after 2-10, don't you think this staff, wouldn't that mean that, okay, if they're coming off actually a good season to sell recruits and some momentum coming off the last season, then maybe they could put together a top 5 class?
Yeah.
I'm just saying any other 2-10, we look at it through the prism of just Florida State fans and Florida State media and knowing this program, but any other 2-10 team, any team in the country that was coming off a 2-10 season to have 12 4-star commitments already and be ahead of Alabama in the rankings, you would think they were cheating their asses off. They have to be. So the fact that Florida State is in this high cotton right now is kind of impressive. But I know it is June, and I also know there is a difference between low 4 stars and high 4 stars, and you don't have any 5 stars. So I get it, but I don't get. This isn't an excuse anymore. Yes, I think it is impressive that he's put together this kind of class on the heels of 2-10. But he's the reason they were 2-10. He didn't inherit a 2-10 mess; he created it. So he doesn't get a slap on the back for being able to recruit against adversity. He was the adversity. But that said, I do like what they've done. I don't know if they're giving more bucks to these kids or if this is a really good combination of veteran coaches and young up-and-coming assistants, and it's all working together. But I would say right now it's hard to argue with the results as we sit here again, in late June. Yeah,
last thing, this might be kind of part of the climb, right? Get a top 15-ish class with some 4 stars. Maybe you land. I don't know if they're really in the mix for any more 5 stars, but there needs to be a point where you pull 1 or 2 of those 5-star plus guys, like a Ryan Williams, right? Like you need to be able to pull 1 or 2 of those guys in a class every single season. They're not quite there yet, but again, new staff, proof of concept, if you can, on top of whatever you're offering these kids right now to be 11th, makes you feel like it's a reasonable goal. It's somewhat in reach. It's not a complete futile endeavor. So what's not a futile endeavor? It's having fun on your weekends, getting out there with your friends on the boat, having portable power. Use Cummins, the Onan line of products. Give them a follow on Instagram. Cummins Lifestyle. It's all one word. That's all we ask. Corey, do your thing. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Daily lunch specials. You know what time they're going down, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm going to tell you anyways. $8.99. Comes with a side dish of your choice. Ice cold beverages, 40 television screens, billiards, darts, Live music this weekend? Question mark. I keep checking the Facebook page. Haven't found any information, but I do know that they've got that happy hour going from 4 to 7 o'clock. And if there is live music, it's going to go even longer, Corey. I feel like you could probably use a good weekend over the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill after life in Atlanta here of late. So I'm hoping you can make it down.
I got it. Let's see. So, tonight they will have live music from 6 to 9. It's Travis Sway.
Ooh, nice.
It's 6 to 9 happy hour.
Hell yeah.
So the same thing as last week, 6 to 9 happy hour. And then July 12th, Saturday, July 12th, Tom and the Cats.
Nice.
Which always packs them in. Packs them in at 8 o'clock. So 6 to 9 tonight, little happy hour live music. Get out of the heat and go listen to some music, watch some baseball, drink some cold beer, eat some hot wings.
Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. We are back. It's Wake Up Warchant. It is presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. We go to Kevin Arsenault, 152. Wake up, fellas. I've been reading over information on the settlement, the house settlement, that is, and the money now FSU has to spend on players. With the assumption of a majority of the money going towards football, how would you guys break down the allotment Mike and company get for recruits? And how does the transfer portal play out in that thinking? Are we paying the transfer portal players from that allotment, or is the full $20 million utilized for incoming high school kids? It's for everybody, right? I mean, $20 million is for the entire athletic program.
There's people that have been grandfathered in, like Deuce Robinson and people like that, the Castellanos. They're grandfathered in on whatever deals they struck in December. But moving forward, the way it's supposed to work, everyone, in quotes, is that you have all that money for every athlete on your campus, whether they come up through the high school ranks or come from Michigan after 3 years as the starting point guard at Michigan. They all are part of that $20.5 million, and if they get any NIL or $22 million, whatever it is, and if they get any NIL money, it has to be proven to be like a bona fide, real life sponsorship, a real life working contract that isn't just a pay for play model. So, yes, so no, I don't know, man.
Well, let me get to the question. Let me get to the question.
The question. I thought the question was about would you spend it more on recruits or portal guys? I thought that was the heart of it. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, well, there was more to it. I mean, that is the crux of it. But for me, I would like to think most needs of the money needs to go to high school recruiting. Big emphasis on offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, receiver. What say you? So, I guess I'm sorry, Corey, to interrupt you. It seems like that's kind of what he was getting at. But so high school portal, how would you split that amount of money? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I know people are excited. Florida State has had a really nice run here recruiting, and they're now 11th in the country, according to our metrics, in 11th in the country in high school recruiting for the 2026 class, and have, like the fourth most 4-stars of any class in the country. Like, they've been doing a bang-up job. They've been doing really well. Almost none of these guys are going to help next year. So if you go 7-5 or 8-4 and you lose Deuce Robinson and you lose Squirrel White and you lose Castellanos and you lose Daryl Jackson, and these aren't ifs, you're going to lose most of these guys. Are you spending all your money on guys that aren't going to help in 2026? Or most of your money? I think what we're all hoping for, though, when it comes to this question, because, look, man, yes, you got to build through high school recruiting, especially on the line of scrimmage, it would seem. The offensive line of scrimmage, it just doesn't seem like you can consistently build a good product. Piecemealing it together from other schools in the country. But all these numbers need to go way down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I have no idea what Miami is paying that number one player in the country that's the offensive tackle. But he is not worth it. And next year at this time, if this is the real model and it actually has some enforcement and some teeth behind it, you couldn't dare pay, let's just say, $2 million to an high school offensive lineman. What would be the point? And that's 1 year, by the way. It's not It's not $2 million over 4 years. It's $2 million for his freshman season. Where if your team is any good at all, he's not going to play a whole lot. So what is the point? Same thing with a quarterback. Like with a hot-shot freshman quarterback, most of them don't play their first years. Arch Manning waited 2 years. So I would think these numbers for portal guys and high school guys have to plummet. Now, there might be a few portal guys like a Jeremiah Smith that can still, take the roof off an offer. But everybody else, I feel like it's going to be cut it needs to be cut, just the numbers we're hearing, by like 50%. I'm trying to think of LaWayne McCoy.
Right.
Like, what would LaWayne McCoy get this year with the House settlement as opposed to last year as a high school recruit? I mean, or Hakeem Williams. Like, I just feel like you've got to be sensible with it and not give a ton of money to guys you don't know can help you immediately. Because it's not like Norvell's. If the people will be like, I know he went 4-8, but these guys are. He's got a couple really good freshman offensive linemen. That's not saving his job. So he's got to play for the immediate, and most coaches do. So it's going to be fascinating how all this turns out. And I know I didn't answer the question at all. I apologize.
I'm very interested about this, and I agree, everybody. Okay, high school recruiting is important, but there's no guarantee you're going to hold on to the kid just because you recruited him from freshman year. It seems to be that is like this wisdom that get the kid on campus and then you don't have to worry about losing him out as though like you get some sort of hometown discount. It's like, well, listen, man, Amari Williams can have an awesome year this season. That does not mean, there's not going to be this loyalty discount where it's like, I'll stick around here if some other program comes and gives him a bunch of money and maybe he didn't like, some of his teammates or his coaches or something like that. I don't want to totally divest from the transfer portal. I know that's not what Kev was saying here, but like the transfer portal is still going to have to be a large part of what you do, because I don't think just because you bring in high school kids, they're going to stick with you and then you can just keep giving them all the money instead to keep them around.
Yeah, I will say this though, when it comes to that, is like it does seem like, Florida State, in their Florida State's ilk, like big time football programs, they don't lose a ton of starters. That hasn't really manifested itself. Maybe it will, but like I don't know how many starters Florida State has lost from their team. You know what I mean? Not a ton.
No.
And they've gotten a few from other schools like a Jamie Robinson or Jaheim Bell, but the schools that are big time football schools, they don't tend to lose starters.
No.
So. An Amari Williams, my point being, if Amari Williams has a really good year this next year, it seems like it's working out where all these guys stay at their schools. I know Florida State lost, Patrick Payton and Marvin Jones Jr., but I don't know if we'd call that a loss. Like I don't mean it like that. I don't know how much they were fighting for them to stay. If Florida State really wants to keep one of their good players, or if Florida wants to keep one of their good players, or Alabama, or Ohio State, or Texas A&M, it seems like it worked out, right? Doesn't it? There's not a ton of them, a ton of these big schools that have lost guys they really wanted to keep.
Fair. Quick bad math that's probably mostly irrelevant. So, they've got $20 million or whatever. It's going to go up 4%, I think, year over year. So let's just say that $20.5 million, they're going to get 15 of it to football. Some people might even think that's too low. But if you have $15 million to disperse over 105 players, that'd be about $143,000 a player. Which, again, to your point, like Jackson Cantwell, the kid from Nixa, Missouri, that's going to Miami, that committed. The rumor was like a $2 million price tag. I think people have even thrown price tags on Ousmane Kromah. That is significantly more than $143,000. So, yeah, the market, it's going to be like a housing crash. Like the price is going to have to be like 2009. There's going to have to be a correction.
Yeah, you would think, because yes, right now, as we heard, the Texas Tech was $55 million that they spent on their academic. I think they did the whole some media outlet out there got the Freedom of Information numbers, and I think Texas Tech was right around $55 million for their entire athletic budget this past year, or moving into this year in spring. So, you're talking about cutting everything in half. So just like Aslan said, do the math. Also, $143,000 ain't nothing to sneeze at.
No.
And so one kid, let's say your third string, I don't know, let's
your sixth wide receiver,
Ricky Knight. Ricky Knight, who I like, he really stood out in practice to me. He's your probably sixth cornerback right now. I think he could be okay making $70,000. That's pretty good, right, Aslan?
It's really good for yes. That's
might not play $70,000, Ricky. You're taken care of, buddy. There are millions upon millions of people in this country that would give a toe to make $70,000. They'd give an appendage to make $70,000 a year. So, and you're doing it just to play college football. So, yeah, there will be guys that are making $400,000, $500,000. You make up for it with the backups that I don't want to say are happy to be here, but they are. They're Florida State football players. They get some dollars. They get $50K. That's nothing at all to sneeze at. And then next year they could work themselves into a better contract if they play. They can. The problem is, what if Ricky Knight somehow becomes a Thorpe candidate this year, and he's the front runner for the Thorpe in November, and he's making $55K? I think my man might want to be bumped up. I think he might want to be bumped up in the middle of a season. Like, wait, so why am I making? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's the slippery slope when it comes to all this. But luckily, like we said, hopefully there is just this finite amount of money. It's not infinite. It's a finite amount of money that they're allowed to spend. And you just tell the players, look, we will readjust when the season's over. We have no more money. Legally, we can't pay you. Go talk to Gene at Warchant and see if he'll have you in one of his ads or something like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you're going to have to do. You
said that, and we need to move along, but I did want to bring this part of it up, though, where you mentioned, like, Jeremiah Smith in the portal, right? So you only have a finite amount of money you can give to him from your revenue share pool.
Yes.
But listen, NIL is still a thing, like your name,
absolutely.
image, and likeness. So,
but Ricky Knight's name doesn't ring out. It might if he's a Thorpe candidate, but right now it doesn't ring out. Jeremiah Smith absolutely does.
But here's my thing, though. Like, all right, we can give you, $600,000 from our rev share, but will they be able to go to the clearinghouse and say that we're going to have insert car dealership, give him an NIL deal for $1.2 million. But listen, this is Jeremiah Smith. He's a huge talent. He's going to be at this institution, this university. He is going to bring in all this additional traffic to the university on the weekends. Weekends are one of the biggest selling day, the biggest 48 hours of us selling cars. Having his name behind our car dealership, we think will make it worth us being able to get enough sales to recoup that money and then some. Like, will they be able to make these really, flimsy arguments that have maybe a little bit of merit to then still push across a ridiculous pay-for-play deal?
I mean, with Jeremiah Smith, there's a lot of merit to that. He is I would say, one of the 5 most famous college football players in the country, right? He is. So I'm more interested. So I don't think that's flimsy. I think you could literally make the case, yes, man, if he comes to Baton Rouge, he is going to be a superstar, and he's going to move some trucks off the lot. I promise you. He'll move trucks off the lot or like just Honey Badger could right now. Like, his name will be a big name and a big deal. I'm more interested in, like, Hakeem Williams in Boulder, Colorado. Like, what is he legitimately selling? He's not a name that anybody out there knows. He is not a name that's done anything in college. So what is his going rate? What is the going rate for a former 5-star that has 19 career catches? You can't say that he's worth $608,000 or $800,000 legitimately. But then aren't we all worth what somebody's willing to pay us? So then it comes into that whole argument. But yeah, Jeremiah Smith, he could, you absolutely, he could go anywhere and get legitimate deals, I think.
Big B7034, wake up. Good day, fellas. It's been a minute. It has been, Bakari. Where have you been, man? Give me your Mount Rushmore of Seminoles post 2005 to present. Any sport, male, female, who you got? As always, keep up the good work and go Noles.
Post 2005.
S Quinn 67 says Jameis Dalvin, Buster, and LaMarcus Joyner.
I'm going Jameis. I'm going Buster. I'm going Walter Dix. And
Jesse Warren?
I might go Jesse Warren.
Tania Latson, if you didn't leave us.
Yeah, traitor. Good luck, Tania. We hope you win a national championship legitimately. Please beat Kim Mulkey, please. But then I feel like I'm disregarding soccer, which has been the best program on the campus for this run. I don't know if they have the one like superstar. They had Dana Castellanos from Venezuela, and she won a championship. But I don't know that she would belong over Jesse Warren. So I think, and honestly, I know, guys, I could put Jameis Dalvin, Jalen, and Derwin. Call it a day. I got it. But let's try to incorporate more sports. Walter Dix was an Olympic medalist, and he was a 3-time national champion at Florida State, led the team to 3 straight national championships. That was a big deal. He was the best, maybe you could argue the best college sprinter of all time, or at least in the conversation with all the championships he won. And then Jessica Warren was incredible, and then Jameis and Buster. I think that's a good list.
Hot take.
Raleigh? We throw Cal Raleigh on there now, the way he's going?
Hot take. I might put Kat Sandercock up there ahead of Jessica Warren.
Yeah, but she didn't win the title.
I know.
That's all.
But she was so dominant.
She was great. Yeah, she was
incredible.
great.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe it would be
Jessica Warren's got the catch.
Yeah,
she was the best hitter in the country, and she also had that crazy catch when it mattered most in the College World Series.
You're right. We're back. It's Wake Up Warchant. It is presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com. Last question of the week, Corey. We go to Mac03. Good morning, gentlemen. With all the talk of needing more revenue for sports and rumors of a potential new baseball stadium at the old IM fields, approximately 800 feet by 700 feet.
Are we the only one? Are we the ones starting that rumor? Because we've talked about it a ton, and so has Jeff Cameron. But I've never heard anybody that matters say we're doing it or we're thinking about doing it. I mean, we hear rumblings, but I'm like, are they just because we say it, or they really want to do it?
I don't know. There's just such conviction in the way that Jeff says it that I'm like, oh, they're definitely looking at this, right?
Got to.
Yeah. What are some of the money-making ideas to build around the stadium? Should they go with lofts in the outfield like Mississippi State, or a chop house similar to the Braves but partnered with maybe a local brewery? My thought is to build a restaurant with a footprint similar to Madison Social in the corner of the outfield, add a second-floor game party room and outdoor seating that can double as seating for the ballpark. Could it be a destination barbecue spot named Buster's Barbecue, a Southern Eats restaurant with a Friday special of honey fried chicken and Cal's plates? Cal's Raleigh plates. There we go. That's funny. Or even a College Town version of Corner Pocket. What would you like to see around a potential stadium?
Well, look, I mean, those are all great ideas, and I would love for them to do something like that. I mean, try to make it like a modern day minor league park that has those kind of amenities to go along with it. But if it's going to be bumping up against College Town anyway, I feel like a lot of it's already built in. So you've got Madso right there. You've got whatever that is across Township.
Right? You're acting like you don't know.
I know. Clark. I'm down there every Friday night. I'm down there.
He's never
Friday
at Corner Pocket, everybody. He's really at Township. If you want to see Corey on a Friday,
and Madso, and sometimes Recess. I like to go up there and just swim around in my snorkel gear. And would they let you do that? I wonder if they would kick you out, right? Security. I mean, maybe not a 20-year-old, but a 50-year-old. I feel like they would ask me to leave if I just showed up in like my whole the flip like the
flippers,
flappies, flippers, and the mask. Yeah. If you built the stadium right there, and then
I like lofts. I do like
lofts.
I like lofts, living
but
space.
I do like a bar that is like an outside, like a cool vibe down the left field line or something. That maybe isn't, because again, Madison Social is fine, it's great, but it's its own. It's got a lot of young people, and maybe you'd like to hang out with people your own age, and if you're in your 40s or 50s, and it'd be more of an adult vibe at the baseball game.
But is that part of the ticket purchasing experience, or is that like you buy a condo in the outfield, and that's for people who own the condo, and then like people get you get banded if you live in the neighborhood and you bring your friends, so then you guys can hang out in that area?
The world is our oyster, Aslan. Right. We can make it go any way we want. But yeah, you could have you could have a JD's concession stand, a Buster concession stand, a Cal Raleigh. Obviously, there's a lot of avenues to go down. 11, something with 11. Maybe you name the restaurant 11's on 11 or something because it stays open till 11. I don't know.
11 lofts, and it's two pillars. Like they're not like there's one in left center field, one in right center field. Like those are your townhomes, whatever, condos.
Or just keep Howser and enjoy the puddles, enjoy the incredible heat, and enjoy no outfield bleachers or no outfield seating at all.
Okay.
Just those are options, but I like the option of building that thing on the intramural fields and making it a cathedral.
A cathedral.
Yeah. Call it the Link.
Okay.
Link will be the head coach when it happens. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. All right, we did it. We got through all the questions. We made it through another week together, everybody. It's fantastic. Thanks for being here. Check out warchant.com for everything going on with the football program, recruiting, and on the field as we get ready for summer. I mean, we're less than a month away from being an ACC kickoff, I think, Corey Clark.
I know. It's coming. It's coming. And then a month after that, we're watching like a week after that, we're watching practice.
Look at that. Hopefully.
Well, no, we're not.
Hopefully.
We're watching people come off the practice field, I guess.
He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Thanks for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Vitamin Energy, vitaminenergy.com.